Last but certainly not least, Austin L. writes, "Hey guys, love the show, love all you guys. Anyway, we all know if Man of Steel does well, then Justice League is coming. Well, I just heard that it is confirmed that if Man of Steel does well and there is a Justice League movie, Zack Snyder will definitely be directing it. So, in other words, if there is a Justice League movie, then Snyder will be directing it. Have you guys heard this as well? What do you think of this?"
Okay, I gotta go off on this for a sec. First of all, Austin, thank you so much for the email, but I gotta go off on this again. If I feel like once every 2 or 3 weeks I gotta do this. We need to re-educate our population on the definition of the word confirmed. Did the president of Warner Brothers come out and say that? No, he didn't. This is not confirmed. It is not confirmed. There, in no way, shape, or form is it confirmed that Zack Snyder. One website, and I believe it's a very good website, friends of ours actually, JoeBlow.com, said they heard that this might happen. That is not the meaning of confirmation. Confirmation is when Zack Snyder comes out and says, I have been tapped to direct Justice League. Or when the president of Warner Brothers or DC comes out and says, we have officially confirmed that we are signing. Until that happens, it's not confirmed, it's just rumor. Now, as a matter of fact, last week at CinemaCon, I was told, and actually you did a story on this, and you didn't know this, but I was the source of it.
I knew that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I was told, but here's why I don't tweet very much stuff. I was told that they are actually looking at David Goyer, the guy who wrote the Dark Knight movies with Christopher Nolan. He's directed some films before without a lot of success, but he's turned into a go-to writer, and he wrote Man of Steel, and he's actually the guy who came up with the idea for Man of Steel
during Dark Knight problems,
right?
Dark Knight Rises,
and they might be looking at giving him a kick at that can. Now, I just heard that from one person. I put that up on Twitter. That, hey, I just heard that this could be happening, and I immediately followed up with another tweet that says, but for heaven's sakes, take this as a rumor. I'm just telling you what I've heard. This is not a scoop. The next morning I woke up, and I'm like, my tweet is like on the front page of 40 different websites, including like MTV and whatever. It's like, this is why I don't tweet. But anyway, but no, by no stretch of the imagination is Zack Snyder confirmed. Now, let's say, hypothetically, is it true? If it is true, would we like to see a Zack Snyder? I honestly can't answer that question because I'm a little torn about Zack Snyder right now. I really like his style. I love the job he did with 300. Nobody talks about it, but I love the job he did with that Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole movie. I think that actually, directing-wise, it wasn't a great story, but directing, I think he did a great job with that movie. Sucker Punch was obviously a big bag of crap. And then Watchmen.
Not visually.
No, not visually.
Visually is beautiful.
Turn the volume off, but we're talking about making a good motion picture. And, with Watchmen, people's opinions are divided on Watchmen. I kind of liked it, didn't love it. I know some people really didn't like it. I know some people who really did love it. So I'm a little on the fence about Zack Snyder right now. I won't have a definitive answer about what I think about it until I see my most anticipated film of the year, which is Man of Steel. All indications point to that he did a great job. Warner Brothers is saying he did a great job. Of course, it's their movie, so of course they're going to say that. But still, I think it looks amazing. If it's as good as I hope it is, then yeah, I'll be all over the Zack Snyder to direct Justice League bandwagon completely. I'll be on that bandwagon. Amy Rose, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had some people reaching out to me as well on Twitter saying, did you see this? Zack Snyder's directing. And until it's 100% confirmed from the horse's mouth or the studio's mouth, then it's just not, it's nothing to get excited about yet. I do really like, and the source was reported to be Ruben Fleischer, who is friends with Zack Snyder, and he was rumored way back when to possibly be directing Justice League. He obviously did Gangster Squad and Zombieland, better film. But when asked if he was going to do it, apparently he said, no, Zack Snyder will end up doing it. It didn't say is doing it. It's like, it was speculation as well. So that's not really a true source. It's just speculation. I really think Zack Snyder has a really unique twist on filmmaking. While maybe he's a bit better cinematographer than writer and just like, I just, visually, his films are beautiful. And it goes back to what I just said about Guy Ritchie, about when you can tell it's a certain filmmaker's film, you gotta respect that. Whether you think there's holes in it or not, fine, but he's got a really unique style, a really unique voice, and I think he's a good filmmaker. And Man of Steel is gonna be awesome. I really do have high hopes for it, so I'm trying to keep them managed, but it's hard to when everything I've seen is so awesome about it. And Christopher Nolan guiding the way with Zack Snyder. I think those two together are gonna make magic, and Warner Brothers is not stupid. When Man of Steel becomes a huge hit and success, you know, they're gonna try to get that team lined up to hopefully Godfather the rest of them. You guys did great together on Man of Steel. Let's see what you can do with Justice League. And then, you know, possibly we'll see some of the characters, and then Henry Cavill can be Superman and all of this, and then it would really kind of get the whole universe going for DC like we have with Marvel. So I really have high hopes for this, and once Man of Steel releases, we'll see a lot more happening. But Warner Brothers isn't stupid. If it's a success, of course they're gonna wanna recreate that for someone that's doing justice for their property. Get it? Justice?
The other really nice thing about Snyder, listening to you describe the things you like about him, that you really have to admire, is that even in his failures, Snyder is a director who's not afraid to take risks.
He's not.
Sucker Punch, while a complete epic failure.
It wasn't an epic failure.
Oh, it was an epic
pretty
failure.
bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's not great, but visually it's gorgeous.
Bold. It was bold, and if you want great reward, you have to take great risks. And Zack Snyder is a director who's not afraid to take big risks. 300 was a big risk too, and he hit that one out of the park. And you got to admire and you got to respect that about the great filmmakers are the ones who are not afraid to fail epically, because they're the ones who will hit it out of the park.
Even Watchmen had a really cool dark tone. While it wasn't like a slam dunk for me either, because I do love that story, and I just didn't think it was amazing. Visually, it was cool, and the tone of the city was dark and cool as well. So I really think that he's a great filmmaker.
But they should take a look at the Marvel template, in that sometimes substance over style
of course
is not a bad thing. And I think that's where Marvel's really done right by their properties, is giving it to people who really, I don't want to say that Zack Snyder doesn't care, but give it to people who have more going on beneath the surface, bringing it back to Joss Whedon.
Well, we'll say the fact that it's written though by the same team that wrote and brought us the Dark Knight series. I think we're in pretty good hands.
We're in great hands
so far.
Hey guys, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and will keep you up to date on all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to find out about our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.